Hey guys, welcome to Smack Talk Wrestling Reviews. I am your host Boise and this is NXT UK Review. We have Rhea Ripley defending the NXT UK Women's Championship match for the first time ever. We have Toni Storm back on NXT UK and Travis Banks looks for revenge on Joe Coffey. This and much more. Let's just hit the music. So first up on our double bill of NXT UK, we have Mike Hitchman, who is the Wild Boar versus Jordan Devlin. This, for me, was a decent match. Jordan Devlin coming off as the heel. Hitchman, who usually does play the heel role, was praised by the NXT universe for being the babyface. I think this was a really good match. I think both men showing exactly what they can do. Devlin's selling was absolutely fantastic, and Wild Boar showing, hey, I might not be the biggest guy in the ring, but I will push you to your limits. And that's what this match was. At first, when I saw the lineup for this one, I thought, my god, this is just going to be an easy squash match for Devlin, but luckily enough we got a really good competitive match and both men coming off looking absolutely fantastic. Jordan Devlin did get the victory, which is a good positive, giving him more and more momentum, but this was a good match for Mike Hitchman as well, so this could use for momentum for himself as well. I'm going to give this match a 6 out of 10, a good kickoff match for NXT UK, so let's keep going. Next up we had Fabian Aichner versus Eddie Ryans. Now Eddie Ryans, who is from Plymouth, so he was getting a home crowd loving him. This for me, again, I thought, oh, this is going to be a quick squash match, giving Aichner some more momentum after he just lost to Flash Morgan Webster only a few weeks ago. But no, this was a competitive match yet again, which I do enjoy. Eddie Ryans, first time on NXT UK, came across looking really well. Yes, he made a few mistakes in the ring, and you can tell he's not yet at that level to compete on the NXT main roster all the time. But he really did impress me on his in-ring ability. This was definitely a showing Aichner's aggressive type of style in the ring. Aichner was getting beaten by Ryans. Then Aichner pushed the momentum onto his side when he used the same move he did with Mark Andrews, where he threw him into the steel steps next to the ring, kicked his head into the steel steps, dragged him in, and then power bombed him to get the victory. I thought this was a decent match. It was a lot longer than I was expecting, and it gave a new signee plenty of time against someone who is getting a big push right now. So I'm going to give this another 6 out of 10. Next up we had an NXT UK Tag Team Division match where we saw Moustache Mountain versus the new team of Saxon, Huxley and his new tag team partner Tyson, Tbone. As we know, Saxon has had no luck with partners. His first partner got injured, then he teamed up with Joseph Connors, who beat the crap out of him after they lost. So this was meant to be third time the charm. This was for me a really good match. It's just showing how good Moustache Mountain are. They are one of the most over tag teams in the NXT. I would say not just in the NXT UK division, I would say in the NXT division all around. They are popular when they're in the States, they are popular over here in the UK. They are just super over as a tag team. And Saxon just couldn't get any momentum with his new tag team partner. You can just see the class difference between a new tag team and a veteran tag team, and this is what the story was all about. We had Moustache Mountain, the much more veteran team who have held gold before, taking on a team who have just been brought together, and both members of Saxon and Tbone took each other out by mistake, obviously by accident, and you saw Moustache Mountain just pretty much dominate the match as a majority. Yes, Tyson Tbone did control Trent Seven. Trent Seven's selling is absolutely brilliant. He's one of the best sellers in the NXT UK division, and the way he just sells and makes it look like his opponent's overpowering him, so we get that hot tag to Tyler Bates, and just the crowd just erupt every time this happens. But yeah, Moustache Man did get the victory. This for me was a bloody brilliant match, and I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. So we had the NXT UK Women's Championship match. This was our main event for this episode. The first episode of this week actually, and it was Rhea Ripley defending for the first time ever against Isla Dawn. For me, this was a really good match. Again, I keep saying this is a really good match, but it is. NXT UK keeps honestly getting better and better every week. I find that we're finally getting more and more storylines, that not everyone's just going for gold, but they are starting to build up rivalries. And for me, this was a really good showing for Rhea Ripley. She absolutely made me feel like she's an aggressive, dangerous heel champion. That's how you should build her. She should be built as you can't put your guard down for a second. Isla Dawn started off really well. She looked like she was controlling that match, and this again just showing how well booking is for NXT UK, because Isla Dawn, for someone like her who I think has been pushed, built up really well, she came off looking really well as well in this match. She didn't win, yet for me, she comes out looking better after this match, and that's what you want. You don't just want your champion to look super strong, you also want the opponent, even if she loses, to come out looking decent, and that's what we got. Rhea Ripley came out looking very aggressive and dangerous as the NXT UK Women's Champion, and Isla Dawn, even though she lost, still comes across as a very, very capable wrestler and who could have another title shot down the line very soon. This for me, I hope, doesn't end their rivalry. I hope we do get another build-up. Maybe we could see a triple threat match with Toni Storm put into this, but I really, really enjoyed it. So I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. Rhea Ripley gets my MVP for this episode of NXT UK. Next up, we do have another episode, so we'll go straight on to that. So this is the second episode of NXT UK for this week, and we started off with Toni Storm versus Charlie Morgan. Charlie Morgan, for me, I absolutely am a massive fan of her. If you haven't seen her work in the UK independent scene, you're missing out. She is absolutely decent. She's really good. And Toni Storm, who doesn't know Toni Storm now? She is one of the biggest names in the NXT UK division. She's the Mae Young winner. She is absolutely amazing wrestler. And during this whole match, I just kept on thinking, these two could have a brilliant match if they actually had a lot more time. And that's what it was. That was the only downfall for this match. Charlie Morgan came out looking great. You can tell that her inexperience did show a few times, but Toni Storm's experience was just on show. Her selling was fantastic, her build-ups were brilliant, her submission technique was absolutely brilliant, and Storm Zero looks like an absolutely killer finisher every single time you see it. So I'm going to give this a solid 6 out of 10, I'm going to say a good showing for Toni Storm coming back from injury. Next up, we had another NXT Tag Team Division match where we saw Mark Andrews teaming up with his best friend Flash Morgan Webster to take on Liverpool's #1 Zack Gibson and James Drake. James Drake and Zack Gibson have been having a good little push lately in the tag team division. Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster are two of the most over wrestlers in the NXT UK division, and they had probably, I'm going to say, the match of the week for me for the NXT UK. So that's including both episodes, because this was so good. Throughout the whole match, I absolutely enjoyed every single bit. Morgan Webster's selling is absolutely fantastic. Zack Gibson's aggressiveness is on show every single bloody time. James Drake did everything right. He is the perfect tag team partner for Zack Gibson, where Zack is very much an aggressive, dangerous heel type. James Drake is a heel, but he's much more submissive to Zack Gibson's control. And Mark Andrews, I say this every single time Mark Andrews is on NXT UK, and I'm going to say it again, he is bloody brilliant. He's one of the best wrestlers I have ever seen, and I can't wait to see him challenging for more titles in his future, because you can tell this lad has a big, bright future in wrestling, and he is absolutely fantastic. There are some moves you just don't expect, like a double stunner, or you get a double Pele kick. This lad can do these things, and you just go, how is that even possible? How is he even able to do that? This match, like I said, was the match of the week for me on NXT UK. Unfortunately, Aichner got involved because he's had a bit of a feud with Morgan and Andrews, costing them the match. Zack Gibson and James Drake did get a victory, so that's a big win for them. That's more momentum for them as an NXT tag team. I absolutely love this match. I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10 because Mark Andrews can defy gravity half the time. Next up, we had an NXT match where both competitors had neither won a match. This was Nina Samuels versus Killer Kelly, and you could tell straight away who the crowd were absolutely cheering for, and that was Killer Kelly. But the best thing about it was, you could tell usually when these type of matches happen where both competitors have never won a match yet, the crowd can be quite, uninterested. But I have got to give props to the crowd at the tapings, because instead of just being quiet, they cheered for every single thing, and that was absolutely brilliant from them. They made sure everyone knew this was UK wrestling, that this was NXT, and they made sure that everyone knew that both Samuels and Kelly were doing a fantastic job, and they both did. Yes, Killer Kelly did lose, and that's a bit of a shame, because I was hoping she would get her first victory on NXT UK, but Samuels did get the victory, much more of an aggressive style, which we haven't seen from Samuels just yet, where she grabbed Kelly's hair, pushed her into the belt buckle, then did a neck breaker to get the victory. I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. I'm really impressed by both competitors in this match, and I cannot wait to see how far these two can go now. I hope Killer Kelly gets a rematch and that she can get a victory, so then both women actually have a victory on the NXT Women's Division. Last but not least, we got Joe Coffey versus the Kiwi buzzsaw Travis Banks. Now, I'm going to say this, if neither of these guys get to hold the NXT UK Championship, it's a bloody crime. These guys are two of the best wrestlers in the UK scene right now, and they just should hold this title. There's only a handful of other wrestlers I can go, well, this guy's like Will Ospreay, not with WWE. I would pay money for him to come to WWE, and same with Marty Scurll, who again, both really great UK wrestlers, two of the best in the world. But if you're going to pick guys who are going to sign for WWE, who have signed, who are big names for, Progress, ICW, these two are the two big names. And they put on a match which showed that, why they are two of the leading guys for the two promotions I just mentioned. And they are absolutely bloody brilliant. Travis Banks using this as getting revenge on the Coffey brothers, because they're the ones who injured him in storyline. And obviously Joe Coffey trying to get momentum to build up so he can take on Pete Dunne, the current, let's be honest, WWE United Kingdom champion. And this was a brilliant match. I enjoyed every single bit. Joe Coffey was like a shark to blood with every time he aimed at Travis Banks' injured shoulder, and he worked it really, and Travis Banks' selling was absolutely fantastic in this match. I loved that they really did tell a story in this match, and it was great for all. And Travis Banks doing the kick to the face, something came out of Joe Coffey's mouth, and that it looked like a tooth. I'm not sure if he actually lost a tooth. I think he had something in his mouth and he spat it out to give that effect, but that was bloody good. I like that. I like that little bits and bats, like little details into these little matches. And both men really knew each other. You can tell they've taken each other on in the past, and that's what we got. I'm going to give this match an 8 out of 10. Joe Coffey got the victory, building more and more momentum. I cannot wait to see Coffey versus Dunn, because that has got to be a hardest hitting match we're going to see, and that's got to happen at Blackpool. I'm sorry, but that has to happen at Blackpool. NXT TakeOver Blackpool, because there's no way they're going to, you know, build up Coffey like they have been doing for so many weeks, so many months, sorry, and not have it happen at NXT TakeOver. It has to happen. But yeah, really good match, really good main event. Shame though that I've got to give it still to the tag team match for being the best match of the week. And there you go, guys, that was NXT UK review. I'm really sorry it took so long to come out this week. It's just I've had a really busy schedule. We're going to have an even more busy schedule for the next 2 weeks. So I will try and get the reviews out as soon as I possibly can. But I am grateful for everyone who's checking out the videos and who's watching them. It means a lot to me over here at Smack Talk Wrestling. But what was your favourite part of NXT UK this week, guys? I'm going to give the whole NXT episodes, I'm going to give them an 8 out of 10. I enjoyed both episodes, and I thought they were both entertaining all the way around. There was no match I did not enjoy this week. But what was your favourite parts? Come on, guys, leave it in the comments below. If you do like our videos, don't forget to like, subscribe and press that bell to keep notified. And if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can do it. It's at Smack Talk YouTube. And if you want to follow me on old Twitter, it's at Boise88. And I'll see you guys next time on Smack Talk Wrestling Reviews.